I'm glad to see that everybody's interested in this type of video builds. I haven't done a glued video build in quite some time. As a matter of fact, I think the last video build of me gluing model kits was a 1/44 scale Harrier kit that I made. And I was painting and stuff like that. I never finished it, and the reason because it got damaged when a couple of boxes fell on top of it, and pretty much went to waste. Not too many people were interested in a video build anyway. It goes without saying that I realize know what everyone's interested in. I know I do a lot of Gundam model kits, and I do this for the Gundam fans. But you gotta remember, before there was Gundam, there was regular model kits. That's what I remember when I was a kid. The older generation knows about this. The newer ones, who are my new subscribers, are probably not aware of this type of these type of old kits. You should learn to branch out in your hobby. Try different things, try different techniques, and try different kits. It doesn't have to be in this genre. It could be done in any other type of genre. I've been meaning to do a series of side project kits from other series. Most notably, of course, is the Macross kits. There are those huge 172nd scale kits of the Destroyed, not the Destroyed, I already have that one, of the Rifleman and the Tomahawk, which I don't think they're re-releasing the original ones anymore. They're doing new ones, but even those are ridiculously expensive. The other Macross fighters from the Macross Frontier animation, those are also expensive, nearly $100 each. It's going to be quite some time when you're going to see a price drop on those kits. Another series of kits that maybe I would have been interested in, but not too 100%, was the Evangelion kits. It's pretty much the same kit as before. I had one once. Yamato kits, of course, I wouldn't mind going back to classic kits, classic Yamato kits. Which reminds me, let me explain to you guys of what happened with my Yamato kit. For those of you who probably remember, I've shown off a series of videos of my stock of model kits that I have put away, that I have been sitting around for quite some time, and I haven't got the opportunity to build yet. I think it's high time I show you this kit. This is the 1/700 scale version of the Yamato. As you can see, it's not as redefined as what you see there. But regardless, this would spark my interest when I was a kid. And when you look at it, it's amazing. It looks cool for what it is. But what I didn't like was this. The wings. Didn't catch my attention. Didn't like it. So I thought, you know what? Let me try something. Let me get some putty and put it in the feet, in the areas where you can put the wings in, and then sand it down and then conform to the model. I said to myself, that seems fair enough. But at the time, I wasn't familiar with the types of putties out there and what adverse effects it does to a model kit. So here is what happened. Now, as you can see here, I put the putty in, which started to do some weird things to the kit. This one is the cleaned version. The uncleaned version is right here. Made a lot of structural damage along this. This basically needs to be resanded down again. And it got to a point where I was afraid the putty was gonna melt and damage this part, these two parts. My intention was to cover these holes, but I didn't realize how, the damage it was. But this is basically the length of a 1/700 scale Yamato would look like, fully assembled. I haven't thrown this away yet because I said I will come back to this. I will come back to this Yamato kit. But for now, we're going to work on the new one. And then we'll work on the old one later on in the year. Okay, so now we're going to begin with the first 2 to 3 pages of this build. Unlike normal Gunpla kits that I made, Gundam kits I mean, or I can build the head, the arm, the leg, whatever. I'm going based on the manual. But the first thing I need to do is start building the hull of the Yamato. One thing I got out of the way is, of course, the base stand, which is fairly simple. Just put on these two, and that's it. They're very strong, so I don't have to put on any any glue of any kind. Speaking of glue, I have my bottle of glue here, which is very, very little bit of glue there. This one's a semi-brand new. Yeah, I think this one's enough, so I'll use this one for now. I may end up merging this here, so get rid of the bottle. So, the first thing we're going to work with is the front part of the ship. We'll need this. And according to this, we stick this part here. There's 2 pegs, so it's the bottom peg. And the next one over here. And then finally, 2 pegs go here. Then we close this up. Maybe it's a good time I should apply a thin layer of glue. Put it right there, and there, and there, and there. Okay. And then let's close this up. As I was removing the parts off the tree, I've noticed that Bandai has went into great lengths to try to see if they get the molding properly done where it doesn't interfere or doesn't show up on the part of the kit itself, thus making it a very good uniform cut from the tree, and it's nice and flush. So far I barely see any parts that is exposed that will screw up the kit. Alright, so I have these closed up, but I'm going to apply a little bit right there, and then just do a light squeeze until I see it bleed out. There we go. I'll let it dry up, and then I'll sand it down with a very soft sanding stick. Alright, so this part is done. Going on to the next page, the lower half of the hull supposedly is lined up through here. Where all the pegs are. There we go. Goes in nice and snug. Just put a little glue there. And I think I better apply a thin layer on this. For those of you who don't know what it is, and if you probably missed it, it is called Tamiya's Extra Thin Cement. They're about $5 here in the States, give or take $1 or so. They're very good. It's a definite worth the purchase if you're going to glue parts together. There we go. Alright, so this is done. Again, level of detail is amazing. I think this is where I want to come across, is this part of the ship, the front part, the bow. And as you can see, there were nubs here that I had to cut off and sand down a bit. I didn't want to sand this because, again, sanding it will expose all those sanding marks. So I'll just get enough in there to clean it up. And then we got a clear part, and I gotta stick it in there for some unknown reason. Let's see if I can get it in there. There we go. And get that in there. This is, of course, a part that requires glue. Pretty much everything requires glue. Oh, I see. The clear part shows right through the, if you could see that there. And of course I'm going to need glue here. For this cool feature right there. There we go. A familiar sight. Alright, so now that this is done, I'll put this over here to the side. Grab this part here. And then this, we stick it in right over here. Like so. Take this part, followed by this part. Goes in nice and snug. And supposedly this goes right around here. There we go. Followed by this part that goes over here. Like that. It's nice and tight, so that's good. Now, this section here is the engine, which as I was looking at this, I thought, oh, okay, should I paint this now or wait? But I think it's probably easy for me to, I could do this later on, using a hand brush and painting it. Nope, wrong one. This one. The wave motion engine, for those of you who remember this from the animated series. Like that. And that one goes over here. Oh, we'll need this. And clearly, as you can see, everything has a peg inside, so your alignment is never off. You have it in the right area at the right place. There we go. Alright, so that part is done.